If there's one thing I need to tell you right now, if there's one thing I need to shake you awake with, it's this. Your safety is non-fucking negotiable. Period. End of story. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can bargain with it. People are losing their damn minds over this. They can't wrap their heads around why you're still here, why you're still moving, why nothing they throw at you sticks. And I'm telling you, they are sick about it. Like physically sick. I don't say that lightly. Their stomach turns when they see you. Their heart races when your name gets brought up. They wanted you bent, broken, begging. But nah, you're covered. And that right there, it's messing with their whole nervous system. Welcome, big steppers. Welcome back. If this message found you, it's for you. That's just how this energy works, baby. You didn't land here by accident. You were pulled here. So before we even go further, go ahead and hit that like button real quick. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. That way the algorithm, which I swear is being run by the universe itself, keeps pulling us back together. Because clearly these messages are meant for you. Now, let's get into this. Because I'm hearing loud and clear. Spirits in high command are watching over you. High command like generals, like divine soldiers, like the big bosses of the unseen. You are surrounded, protected, guarded in ways you probably don't even realize. And the divine is whispering right now, your rise isn't coming. No, it's already begun. That's the part that's shocking them. They're sitting around waiting for the moment they thought they could sabotage, waiting for the day you'd stumble, but that day never came. Instead, you've been climbing without even looking like you're trying. Let me put it like this. You ever seen somebody try to blow out a birthday candle, but the flame just keeps coming back? Like one of those trick candles? They huff, they puff, spit flying everywhere, cheeks red, and still the flame is just dancing brighter than before. That's you. They tried over and over to blow you out, and you just keep sparking back, laughing, glowing, rising. That flame is divinely protected, and it's driving them insane. And listen, I've been feeling this too, even in my own day-to-day. Just yesterday, I was running late, rushing around, everything seemed to be going wrong. I dropped my keys, my coffee spilled, I stubbed my toe, like the universe was playing games with me. But then, at the last second, everything lined up. I ended up missing a traffic jam by minutes. I ran into somebody I needed to see but didn't plan on seeing. That's protection. That's what it looks like sometimes. It doesn't always look like shining armor. Sometimes it looks like spilled coffee that saves you from a wreck down the road. That's how guarded you are right now. And these people who wanted your downfall, they're realizing they sacrificed themselves in the process. They thought they were making moves against you, but really they were digging their own holes. It's like chess. You ever watch somebody get so caught up in trying to trap the queen, they lose their whole board? That's them. They were so obsessed with your piece, your position, your next step, that they didn't even see themselves getting cornered. Checkmate. And you didn't even have to lift a finger. Your safety is non-fucking negotiable, and that's not just a phrase. It's a law. Written, sealed, stamped. Spirits in high command don't play about you. They don't clock out. They don't leave you unguarded. That's why even when you feel low, even when you feel like, dang, maybe this is it, maybe they finally got me, something snaps, something shifts, something pulls you back. That's the angels. That's your team. And I know some of y'all are feeling it right now heavy. You might feel like the energy around you is thick, like eyes are on you. That's because they are, but not just the jealous eyes, not just the ones waiting on you to fail. The high command is watching too, making sure nothing gets past them. That's why some of you might be having weird dreams, waking up in the middle of the night, feeling that presence in your room. It's not random. That's your protection squad checking in, letting you know they're there. It blows people's minds because they wanted to believe you were weak. They wanted to believe you were alone, but the truth is, you've never been alone a day in your life. Even when you lost people, even when friends switched sides, even when lovers betrayed you, you were still being guarded by forces bigger than anything they could ever conjure. And that makes them sick, because they depended on your downfall like it was their next paycheck. They thought your suffering would feed them, fuel them, and now they're realizing they sacrificed themselves. So, yeah, we're gonna hit this bell. Ding. We're gonna cleanse this energy. Because somebody out there is sick over you. Sick that they couldn't take you out. Sick that you're still standing, still shining, still chosen. And the divine is laughing, saying, your rise isn't coming, it's already begun. And that's why I had to come in hot with this, because I need you to get it in your spirit. Your safety, your life, your path, it's non-fucking negotiable. No debates, no deals, no negotiations. And here's the thing, right? When your safety is non-fucking negotiable, it doesn't just mean you're safe. It means somebody else is about to start feeling real unsafe. And I'm hearing it loud. Somebody out there feels disconnected, like completely cut off. Disconnected from the Most High, disconnected from Source, disconnected from the very energy they thought they were pulling from. You know that feeling when your phone dies and you're in the middle of nowhere, no charger, no signal, nothing. You're pressing the button like, please come back on, please come back on, but it just stays black. And that's what this person feels like spiritually right now. They're pressing, but nothing's lighting up. No signal, no bars. And the crazy part, it's not just a personal thing, it's collective. I'm hearing this person is also being pushed out by a community, like the very people they used to run to, the people who once hyped them up, the ones who did their dirty work, who cheered them on. They're not rocking with them no more. They're isolating them. They're shutting the door, pushing them away. Have you ever walked into a room and you can feel that the energy shifted against you? People turn their heads, side conversations stop, and suddenly it's like you're invisible. But not in the good way. That's what's happening to them. And here's the kicker, they won't do magic for them anymore. Somebody that used to run to practitioners, paying them, begging them, pleading with them, do this, do that, block this person, hurt that person. And now, nobody wants to touch it. Nobody wants their hands on it. Because even the practitioners are like, nah, this energy is too hot, too dangerous, too protected. It's like trying to rob a house when you already know the alarms are blaring, the guard dogs are outside, and the police are on their way. Ain't nobody stupid enough to walk up in there. So now, they're left with nothing. And I'll tell you why. They were codependent on that spell work. Codependent. That means it wasn't just a hobby. It wasn't just let's dabble a little bit. No, this was survival for them. They depended on the illusion they created for themselves by trying to manipulate energy around you. That was their crutch, like somebody addicted to caffeine who can't even function without that morning cup of coffee. The spell work was their coffee. And now the machine broke. The barista quit. Starbucks shut down. Ain't no latte, ain't no spell, ain't no magic working anymore. And what happens when somebody's addicted and they can't get their fix? They lose it, they spiral. That's what's happening now. The spell work isn't working, or it's wearing off, or the seal of protection around you is getting stronger and stronger every day. I'm telling you, some of y'all have probably noticed this yourself. Maybe you feel lighter when you wake up. Maybe you used to feel like a heavy cloud was over you and now it's gone. Maybe you're finding money where you least expected, opportunities sliding into your inbox, or just random bursts of joy out of nowhere. That's your seal strengthening. That's your protection flexing. And trust me, these practitioners, they're not stupid. They can see it. They can feel it. That's why they're refusing to touch this person anymore. It's like being hired to swim across a pool full of sharks. You know better. Nobody wants that job. They're walking away because they don't want to get caught in the blowback. It's almost funny. Your safety is so non-fucking negotiable that even the ones who once tried to work against you don't want to mess with you anymore. Like the fear is spreading. Everybody is getting hurt. Everybody who once stepped in, once signed up, once shook hands on this deal, they're feeling it. It's like a bad investment. You ever see people invest in a pyramid scheme thinking they're about to be rich and then the whole thing collapses? That's what's happening. They invested in your downfall, but the stock crashed. And now they're the ones broke, panicked, disconnected, cut off. And I got to say this too, because this came to me while I was journaling the other day. I noticed how when people isolate themselves in a negative way, it's different from when the divine isolates you for your growth. See, when you get isolated for your growth, you feel peace even when you're alone. You might feel lonely, but you also feel clarity. You feel like the divine is holding your hand. But when they get isolated, it's panic, it's chaos. It's like being locked out in the cold with no jacket. That's the difference, and that's exactly what's happening here. This person thought the community would always have their back. They thought the magic would always work. They thought the connection to source would always flow, even if they abused it. But nah, that's not how it works. When you move against someone divinely protected, you're not just burning bridges, you're cutting off your own lifeline. And now they're dangling, swinging, trying to grab onto something, anything, but everything is slipping through their fingers. So yeah, I need you to understand how serious this is. Your safety being non-fucking negotiable doesn't just mean you're covered. It means anyone who tries to mess with you automatically steps into quicksand. The more they fight, the faster they sink. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. They're sinking, isolated, disconnected, desperate, and no one is coming to save them. And see, this is where it gets wild. Because when I told you everybody's getting hit, I mean everybody, it's like dominoes falling one by one. One gets smacked, the next goes tumbling, and before you know it, the whole line is down. I'm hearing this loud and clear. People who thought they were untouchable are dropping like flies right now. Plans crumbling, secrets spilling, friendships breaking apart, and right in the middle of it, I keep seeing this energy of a fake friend. Now let me pause here for a second, because when I say fake friend, I know some of you instantly got a face in your mind. You don't even got to think too hard. Somebody popped up. Someone who smiled in your face but secretly wanted your spot. Someone who clapped for you, but the whole time they were hoping you tripped on the way up. And the divine is saying you're finding out everything you need to know. No more guessing, no more wondering if you're being paranoid. Everything you need to know is being revealed. And let's be real, it's crazy how deep this goes. Somebody was jealous of you from the jump, not later, not after you got the blessings, not after you got the glow up. No, from the very beginning. They didn't even give you a chance. You walked in the room and they already didn't like you. And the thing is, it had nothing to do with what you said or did. It was your energy, your presence, your light. You ever see how sometimes a baby just cries around a certain person? Like the baby knows something before the adults do. That's how it was with them. Their spirit recognized your power before their mind could even explain it. And it triggered something ugly in them right away. And here's the part that blows my mind. They were codependent on the spell work they did against you. Like, how are you going to be codependent on that? Isn't that the most backwards thing you've ever heard? Like being addicted to your own poison? That's wild. You know how people can be codependent on relationships or on substances or on attention? This person was literally codependent on trying to take you down. That was their lifeline. That's crazy as hell when you think about it. And honestly, I saw this play out in my own life not too long ago. I had someone I considered close enough that I shared my ideas, my dreams, my plans. And every time I told them something good, their reaction felt off. You know what I mean? Like the words sounded supportive, but the eyes, the tone, it didn't match. And sure enough, later I found out they were copying, plotting, even low-key celebrating when I hit a setback. That's when it hit me. Oh, they were a fake friend the whole time, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. The divine is saying this is exactly what's being exposed to you right now. The truth about who's really for you and who's secretly feeding off your downfall. And here's the kicker. These fake friends, they depended on you falling down. They needed you stuck, broken, confused. They fed off your suffering like it was dinner. They wanted you lost, wandering, never finding your way. Because as long as you stayed small, they could feel big. As long as you dimmed your light, they could shine in comparison. But now, that grip is gone, you're rising, and they are sick about it. You ever see somebody lose the remote to the TV? They start flipping cushions, tearing the whole living room apart like they can't breathe without it. That's how these people feel about losing control over you. They don't know what to do with themselves now that you're not responding, not shrinking, not breaking the way they thought you would. And the thing is, that's why people can't believe it. They're watching your story unfold like, wait a minute, wasn't this the one we said would never make it? Wasn't this the one we thought we had on lock? And now they got to eat their words. Because while they were depending on your downfall, you were quietly building your empire. While they were preying on your pain, you were stacking your blessings. And now that it's all showing, they're furious. And let me just throw this metaphor in because it's so clear in my head. Imagine someone planting weeds in your garden every single night, hoping your flowers never bloom. They keep coming back, pulling the roots, trying to choke the soil. But what they didn't know is you had a whole irrigation system underground. You had sunlight breaking through no matter how cloudy it got. You had divine gardeners pulling the weeds behind their back. So when the season came, boom, flowers everywhere, full bloom, vibrant, and now they're standing there like, wait, how? We sabotaged this, no baby. You sabotaged yourself. So yeah, the divine is making it plain. Fake friends are being exposed. Jealousy from the start is coming to light. And all that codependency on spell work, on gossip, on lies, it's collapsing. Because your safety, still non-fucking negotiable. And they hate it. They can't stand that they lost control. And here's where the plot thickens even more, right? Because remember that fake friend energy, that jealousy that's been there since the very beginning? The one who was codependent on spell work, gossip, manipulation, whatever tools they had in their little bag of tricks. Yeah, that one. Well, now they're realizing their entire bag is empty. The stuff they used to rely on, the stuff that used to make them feel powerful, it doesn't work anymore. It's like when you keep using the same password on all your accounts and then one day, boom, locked out. Password denied. That's them right now. Every trick they try gets rejected. And I'm hearing it so clearly. This isn't just about control slipping away. This is about gifts being lost, spiritual gifts, abilities they once had, senses they once depended on, power they once bragged about. It's gone. They're reaching for it, trying to tap in, trying to feel that same high, but it's dead air. Silence. You ever turn on the radio and all you get is static? That's their channel right now. Static. No signal. And not only that, somebody's losing their fans. And I don't even want to call them fans because, let's be real, these weren't genuine supporters. These were followers, people they thought were loyal, people they leaned on for validation. And those people, they're gone too, drifting away. It's like a celebrity scandal where suddenly everyone who once shouted your name is unfollowing, unsubscribing, disappearing. The same people they thought would hold them up are walking out saying, I can't be part of this mess anymore. I gotta give you this picture because it came into my head so strong. It's like somebody driving a car, thinking they're in control, swerving, speeding, cutting people off. They think they're untouchable. And then suddenly their hands slip. They've lost control of the wheel. And it doesn't matter how loud they scream, how hard they yank at it. Once the wheel is gone, it's gone. That's exactly the spiritual image I see for them right now. Total loss of control. And here's the wild part, this wasn't by accident. The divine let this happen. The message is so clear. God let them try their luck with you because it was time for them to get their karma anyway. It wasn't a coincidence they came into your energy. It wasn't random that they showed up when they did. It was orchestrated. The divine knew they were going to try you. The divine knew they were going to show their ass. And instead of blocking them from stepping in, the divine stepped back and said, go ahead, try it. Because this is the only way your karma's going to catch up with you. It's almost poetic when you think about it. They thought they were playing chess, setting up the board, moving their pawns. But really, they were walking straight into checkmate. They were setting themselves up for their own downfall. It's like the divine put the bait out there, knowing full well they couldn't resist. They couldn't help but try to dominate, to destroy, to control. And that's what sealed their fate. And let's be honest about the root of it. It was jealousy. Straight up jealousy. From the jump, they didn't like what they saw in you. And it wasn't because you did anything to them. It was because when they looked at you, they saw the reflection of everything they weren't. Every insecurity they tried to hide, every shadow they tried to cover, it all came crawling out when they stood next to your light. And instead of fixing themselves, instead of facing their mirror, they tried to dim you, tried to pull you down, tried to make you small so they could feel big. I'll give you an example. You ever stand next to somebody at a gym and suddenly they start competing with you even though you didn't even look at them? You're just lifting your weights, minding your business, and now they're huffing and puffing like they gotta prove something. That's what this person was like in your life. Always competing, always measuring themselves against you, even when you weren't playing the game. But here's the funny thing about jealousy mixed with spell work. It's like mixing oil and fire. It burns too hot, too fast, and it ends up burning the one who lit the match. That's what's happening now. All that effort, all that energy, all that obsession, it's collapsing. And they're left empty-handed. Their gifts, gone. Their supporters, gone. Their sense of control, gone. And I know for some of you, this is confirmation because maybe you've already started seeing people drift away from them. Maybe you've seen their social media go quiet, their energy feel weaker, their presence start fading. That's not an accident. That's the divine pulling the plug. And the part that gives me chills, they don't even like what they see in the mirror anymore. They look at themselves and hate what stares back. They thought dimming your light would make them glow, but now all they see is darkness. And deep down, they know it's because they moved against someone protected, against someone chosen, against someone who never needed their tricks, their spells, their validation, their fake love. So yeah, make no mistake about it. They've lost control of their gifts, of their followers, of their willpower, and the divine made sure of it. Because when your rise has already begun, nothing can stop it. And when your safety is non-fucking negotiable, the only thing left for your enemies to lose is everything they once thought was theirs. And see, this is where the karma part starts getting real clear, real undeniable. Because didn't I tell you already about fake friends, about jealousy from the jump? Well, now it's showing up in a whole different way. I'm seeing somebody who allowed family or people really close to them to use them. And isn't that always how it goes? You open the door wide, thinking loyalty means something, thinking blood means something, thinking shared memories mean something, and then boom, they're using you. They're draining you. They're cashing in on your kindness like it's a credit card with no limit. And that ties right back into the fake friend energy. Because it wasn't just strangers or outsiders, it was the people closest to you. That's what stings the most. This wasn't some random hater from down the street. It was somebody who sat at your table, somebody you shared laughs with, somebody you prayed for. And the divine is pointing at that saying, didn't I tell you? Didn't I warn you about fake friends? Now here's the kicker. These same people are depressed, not just sad, depressed. And why? Because you are not rejected by others. That was their whole game plan. They wanted people to turn away from you. They wanted to smear your name, spread lies, throw shade, dim your light so nobody would want to stand next to you. They thought you'd be left out in the cold, begging for crumbs of validation. But it didn't work. People are still drawn to you. They still see your value. They still feel your energy. And now, all the rejection they tried to put on you, it's sitting heavy on them. They're the ones being turned away, being side-eyed, being shut out. And I can't help but laugh a little because I've lived through that exact thing. I remember times when somebody tried to ruin my name, whispering behind my back, hoping everyone would cut me off. And for a minute I worried, dang, maybe people will believe them. But what happened? People ended up seeing the truth. The same folks they tried to convince ended up coming to me like, nah, I see who's real here. And the one who started the smear campaign, they ended up alone, depressed, isolated. That's exactly what's happening here. Their karma is them experiencing the rejection they prayed over you. But let's not skip over this part because it hit me heavy when it came through. Somebody you prayed for turned around and did some shady shit to you. And that hurts in a different way. Because when you pray for someone, you're putting your energy, your love, your spirit on the line for them. You're literally asking the divine to cover them, to bless them, to protect them, and for them to take that and spit it back at you with betrayal. Phew. That's deep. That's personal. This could be somebody you once prayed with. Sat beside, bowed your head, shared your heart. You were close, you wanted the best for them, you believed in their healing. And instead of honoring that, they moved grimy. They tried to take advantage. They thought your prayers were weakness, that your love was a weapon they could turn against you. And now, the divine is saying loud and clear, it's over. Because here's the truth. While they were plotting, you were figuring out what you really need. And what you really need doesn't look like them anymore. You've outgrown it. You've outgrown the fake loyalty, the jealous energy, the users and abusers. And now you're stepping into alignment with the real thing, with people who show up, who reciprocate, who don't just take but also give. That's your blessing. That's your upgrade. Meanwhile, these people, they're realizing what they really need too. And it's not what they thought. They thought they needed control. They thought they needed power. They thought they needed their tricks, their spell work, their fake alliances. But no, the truth is they need God. Period. They need a reconnection to source, to spirit, to something bigger than themselves. Because right now, they are cut off, disconnected. And I don't just mean casually disconnected, like taking a break from social media. I mean full-blown shutdown. They've lost their gifts, you hear me? Lost. That intuition they used to brag about, gone. That ability to discern energy, blocked. That sense of knowing, of feeling, of tapping in. It's like someone pulled the plug on them. And the divine is showing me they can't get it back until they humble themselves. Until they face the truth, until they stop trying to manipulate and finally surrender. But here's the irony, they don't even know how anymore. They try to meditate, nothing comes through. They try to dream, but their dreams are chaos, nightmares, confusion. They try to lean on their followers, their loyal people, but those folks are gone too. They try to speak with authority, but their words fall flat. And deep down they know it's because they moved against you. And this is their karma, exposure and depression. Being revealed for who they really are, while you keep rising, being shut out while you're being embraced, being confused while you're being guided. It's like standing on opposite escalators, you're moving up while they're sliding down. And no matter how much they reach, they can't touch you anymore. So don't be surprised if you start hearing things come to the surface, secrets spilling, people whispering about them the way they used to whisper about you. Don't be surprised if you find out they're struggling behind closed doors while still trying to put on a front. Because that's exposure, that's karma, and it's hitting them right where it hurts most, in their pride, in their reputation, in their spirit. And here's what makes all of this even more undeniable. You're over here being amazing, talented, radiant, unstoppable, and no matter what they try, no matter what shadows they throw, they cannot stop you from shining. They've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at you, and still you glow, still you rise, still you show up and just be yourself. And that's the part that kills them, because they wanted the opposite. They wanted people to reject you. They wanted folks to scroll past you, to turn their heads when you walk in the room, to not see your worth, to not relate, to not connect. And let's be real, that's the exact energy some of that spell work was meant to hold you in. Isolation, bound energy. Keep them unseen. Keep them locked up in a bubble where nobody notices their light. But baby, how do you hide the sun? You can throw clouds, you can throw storms, but eventually the clouds break. And here you are, breaking through. Because the truth is, you're a high priest or a high priestess, and you don't mess with that. You are divinely connected, tapped in, aligned, and the word that keeps flashing to me is disrespect. Somebody was disrespecting a high priestess energy. Somebody was spitting in the face of divine connection, thinking they could outwit the very hand that formed you. Like, imagine standing in front of a lighthouse with a flashlight thinking you're going to outshine it. That's how ridiculous this energy looks now. They thought they were sacrificing you. That's the gag. They really thought, if I cut this person off, if I betray them, if I throw dirt on their name, it'll bury them. But in reality, they sacrificed themselves for the greater good of all. Because now, their exposure is a lesson. Their downfall is a warning. Their loss is a testimony that the divine protects its own. And the divine keeps saying the same thing to me right now. Keep your calm. That's the message. Because anytime this card comes out, anytime this energy shows up, it means somebody's about to try it. Somebody's about to poke at you, test you, push your buttons. And listen, don't spaz out. Don't let them pull you into the chaos. Stay zen. Stay balanced. Keep your peace, because that's your power. And I've seen this play out in my own life too. I remember a time someone came at me sideways, completely out of pocket, trying to get a reaction. I wanted so bad to snap back, to drag them for everything they were worth. But something told me, keep calm, and wouldn't you know it, within weeks, their own lies caught up to them, their own actions exposed them, and I didn't have to lift a single finger. That's what the divine is reminding you here. You don't gotta fight dirty. Your calm is the weapon. Meanwhile, the person who was codependent on that spell work, the one who thought they could keep you bound, they are spazzing out, losing their shit, spiraling. Because when you build your whole world on illusion and manipulation, what happens when that foundation cracks? Everything tumbles. And that's exactly what's happening. And let me just say it. Some of this energy feels like it ties back to a lover, an op lover, somebody who smiled in your face, laid in your bed, maybe even prayed with you, but was secretly plotting behind your back. Somebody who was jealous from the start, but because of their closeness, their betrayal cuts deeper. And isn't it wild how sometimes the people who claim to love us are the ones who try to sabotage us the hardest? That's what makes them an op. That's what makes this hurt sting. But here's the divine twist. They thought being close gave them power over you. They thought intimacy meant control. But all it really did was put them in the perfect position to expose themselves. Because when you betray someone pure, someone covered, someone divine, you don't just lose them, you lose yourself. That's why they're spiraling. That's why they're losing their grip, their gifts, their sanity. And I'll give you a metaphor because this is how I see it. Imagine somebody trying to grab a bar of soap in the shower. The harder they squeeze, the faster it slips. That's them. They're squeezing for control, clawing for power, but the more they try, the faster everything is sliding out of their hands. They're falling. They're unraveling. So the divine says, stay calm, because while you're grounded, they're unhinged. While you're peaceful, they're panicked. While you're glowing, they're glitching. And the more you keep your center, the more their chaos exposes itself. And listen, some of you might feel it even now. You might sense that tension in the air. You might notice people around you acting out of character, snapping, projecting, throwing energy that feels off. That's the confirmation. They're spazzing out because they've lost control over you. The leash they thought they had is gone. The illusion they thought they cast is broken. And you're untouchable. So remember this, your calm is not weakness. Your calm is proof that you're aligned, proof that you're untouchable, proof that you're covered. They can scream, they can scheme, they can spiral, but they can't touch you. And that's what makes them lose their shit even more. And this is where the ancestors step forward. Because I'm seeing so clearly, you've been taking really good care of them. You might not even realize how powerful those small acts have been. Maybe you've been leaving offerings, maybe you've been lighting candles, whispering prayers, or just talking to them like they're right there with you. And the divine is confirming they've noticed, they've been watching, they've been receiving every gesture, and in return, they've been surrounding you with protection you can't even fully comprehend. It's like every time you lit that candle or poured that water or even just thought about them with love, you were building a fortress around yourself. And now that fortress is unshakable. Then that's why so many of these attacks have backfired. That's why you've been shielded. Your ancestors said, we got you. You're all blood. You're all legacy. You carry us and we carry you. And here's where it gets messy. Your lover, yeah, the one you trusted, they were jealous of you from the jump. You know it now. You feel it in your bones. And the divine is saying it plain. Somebody was sleeping with the enemy. Somebody you loved, somebody you gave your heart to, was secretly aligned with people who wanted to see you fall. And I know that's heavy. I know it feels like betrayal on the deepest level. And right when I tapped into that energy, I heard that Drake song come through. I don't give a fuck if you love me. I don't give a fuck if you like me. Last time I looked to my right, you were standing beside me. How can some people I love hang out with people who tried me? Phew, that's exactly the energy here. That line hits so hard because it's your truth. How could they? How could someone you loved, someone you prayed for, someone you stood beside, be standing with the same people who tried to destroy you? And this is why the divine keeps whispering, what did I miss? Because everything you thought you didn't see, everything you thought slipped past you, you're finding out now. All of it. The lies, the alliances, the betrayal, it's all coming to light. Nothing hidden stays hidden forever. And here's the wildest part. Now that they've lost control, they're the ones craving peace. Isn't that ironic? They caused chaos, they stirred storms, they tried to disrupt your calm, and now that it's backfired, now that their hands are empty, they're desperate for stillness. Desperate for that peace they once tried to rob from you. But you know what? That's the consequence of their choices. Somebody even went so far as to try and control your direction. And I mean, literally, this isn't just about emotional control or spiritual manipulation. I'm picking up strong energy of somebody trying to mess with your vehicle. your car, your means of moving forward. Because in that twisted logic, if you were carless, you'd be powerless. If you couldn't get around, if you couldn't move freely, you'd be stuck. But what they didn't understand is you are not bound by a vehicle. You are not defined by transportation. Your spirit moves with or without wheels. And I need to give you this because it came through crystal clear. If you've been having car problems, the divine handed down a quantum code. Write this down. 77 space 20 space 154. That's the frequency for smooth running vehicles. You can write it on paper and tuck it in your car. You can mark it on a candle. You can even put it under a glass of water and drink it. That's how quantum codes work. They shift the frequency of your reality. And the divine is saying this code will align your vehicle to run smoothly no matter what energy was sent against it. But here's the deeper message. Cars aren't just cars. They represent movement, direction, freedom. And what somebody wanted was to stop your forward motion, to trap you, to stall you out. They thought, if I take their keys, I take their power. But what they didn't realize is you had already unlocked something far greater. You've gained this natural ability to push people out of your energy. And once you got that, nobody can trap you again. It's like this. Imagine a video game where the villain keeps setting traps, thinking they've got you cornered. But your character just keeps leveling up, gaining new abilities. Suddenly, those traps don't even affect you anymore. You just walk right through. That's you right now. That's why the divine let them play themselves. Because in trying to stop your movement, they revealed their hand. And in revealing their hand, they lost all power. So even if you face car issues, delays, breakdowns, understand this wasn't about the vehicle. It was about the spiritual lesson. It was about showing you who was really against you. It was about awakening that strength inside you that says, no matter what you try, I move forward anyway. And that's why you're standing here now, with your ancestors behind you, the codes in your hand, and a new clarity in your spirit. Because the divine knew they couldn't stop you. They could only expose themselves in the process. And here it is, the moment where the curtain falls, the jig is up, all the masks, all the illusions, all the fake stories they spun about you, it's collapsing. Because somebody really thought they could rewrite your narrative. They wanted people to see you in a certain way. Weak, lost, unworthy. They wanted whispers to follow your name, shadows to cover your light. But the divine said, absolutely not. Period. End of story. And you know how wild it is? The divine is not even subtle about it. This is loud exposure. This is the truth being shouted from rooftops. It's like when a magician's performing tricks and suddenly the lights flip on and everybody sees the strings, the smoke machines, the mirrors. That's what's happening here. The divine flipped on the light and now the whole room sees the truth. No more tricks. But I've got to warn you here. Somebody might still try to creep back into your energy. And they won't come in honestly. They'll try under false pretenses. They might reach out like, hey, just checking on you, or hey, I was thinking about you. But the divine says nothing. They say it will be the real reason. The real reason is they're scrambling. They're losing grip. They need something from you. Your light, your energy, your forgiveness, maybe even your resources. But it's not real. It's not sincere. And the divine is saying, don't fall for it. Because remember, this is someone who already threw you under the bus. And for what? For money, for gain, for their own selfish climb. They sold out your name, your trust, your loyalty, hoping it would buy them some favor. But your protection, it's non-fucking negotiable. And because of that, every coin they collected is cursed. Every investment they made off of your pain has gone to dust. That's why they didn't get a return. That's why their so-called blessings are crumbling. They were too busy watching you, too obsessed with plotting against you to notice that their own house was falling apart. And here's the part I love. Happy times are coming for you because you went about it differently. You didn't play their games. You didn't sell your soul. You didn't betray to get ahead. You moved with integrity, with strategy, with patience. And that difference, that's why the tables turn. That's why your blessings are aligning while theirs are dissolving. Somebody misjudged you badly. They thought you were easy to break. They thought you were naive, weak, too soft to survive their shade. And now, they're choking on their own assumptions. Because not only did you survive, you thrived. And now, the very ones who projected their insecurities onto you are sitting in regret, wanting to apologize, wanting to take back the things they said, the things they believed about you. But here's the catch. You've already moved forward. You're already in transformation. It's like trying to grab smoke. They can't touch you anymore because you're not even in the same place, not even vibrating at the same frequency. And the speed of it, phew, it's fast. You're moving forward with momentum, acceleration, divine push. What once took you years to achieve is now unfolding in weeks. What once felt impossible is now right in front of you, and that speed is part of their karma. Because while you're sprinting ahead, they're stuck in slow motion, watching, wishing, wondering how they miscalculated so badly. And make no mistake, they failed the test. Every test the divine handed them, they fumbled. And you passed, you stayed grounded, you stayed aligned, you stayed true. And that's why your elevation is undeniable now. That's why the blessings are multiplying. They've lost their strength, and it shows. You can see it in their face, hear it in their voice. The same person who once puffed their chest, who once strutted like they were untouchable, now looks drained, hollow, small. And why? Because they tied themselves to the wrong commitments. They aligned with the wrong people. They danced with the wrong energies. And now those same ties are choking them. And disruption, it's everywhere in their world. Finances crumbling, relationships breaking, health declining, peace gone. It's the tower moment, the great collapse. Because that's what happens when you build on lies, when you disrespect the divine, when you play with energies you can't control. It all comes down. Meanwhile, you stand strong in the truth. Your rise isn't coming. It has already begun. That's the part they can't deny anymore. They try to delay it, block it, deny it. But look around, you're already here. You're already rising. You're already glowing. And they can feel it. And that phrase keeps repeating in my head because the divine is stamping it like a seal. Your safety is non-fucking negotiable. No matter how much they tried, no matter how much they schemed, that line was never crossed. And now they know. They know the price of moving against someone chosen, someone covered, someone protected. And that knowledge is its own punishment. Because they can't undo it, they can't rewind, they can't rewrite, the jig is up. So as you move forward, hold your head high. Because while they're sitting in exposure and regret, you're walking into joy, into acceleration, into transformation. And there's nothing they can do to stop it now. The light is on, the truth is out, and your story is unfolding exactly as it was meant to.